You wake in a dark third-class cabin aboard the Titanic, knowing the ship will strike an iceberg in exactly 2 hours. You are penniless, unknown, and separated from the bridge by a labyrinth of unfamiliar corridors and class barriers. No officer has any reason to believe your warning. Beside you is the Brennan family, who welcomed you as one of their own. Do you waste your remaining time trying to change the ship's course? Or use what you know to get that family closer to the lifeboats before panic begins? The knowledge sits in your chest like cold iron, heavy and absolutely certain, with nowhere to go. Around you, the cabin breathes with the sound of people who still believe they are safe, who still trust the ship beneath them. Mr. Brennan sleeps with one arm curled around his youngest daughter, her dark hair loose across the pillow. They shared their bread with you at dinner, asked nothing in return, and called you by name. In a world that sees only your ticket and your class, they were the first people to see you. That name is the only thing aboard this ship that belongs to you right now. You could stay silent, count the minutes, and use your knowledge only to secure a place near the lifeboats before anyone understands the danger. But the girl shifts in her sleep, and something in that small movement makes the choice for you. You are going to act, and you are going to do it now. You find the nearest steward and tell him the ship will strike an iceberg before midnight. He studies you with the tired suspicion reserved for frightened passengers, and tells you to return to your cabin. You follow him, speaking faster now, about the calm sea, the missing moon, and the ice warnings received throughout the day. For one moment, uncertainty crosses his face. Then another officer arrives and begins asking questions you cannot answer. Your name, your ticket, who told you this, and why anyone on the bridge should listen to a penniless third-class passenger. Every answer makes you sound less credible. You try to reach the upper decks, but unfamiliar corridors, crew-only passages, and class boundaries turn the ship into a maze. A steward blocks the staircase and orders you back below. Your knowledge feels enormous inside your chest, yet out here it has no authority at all. Titanic is still racing through the darkness, and you finally understand that you are not going to stop it. You stop trying to convince the crew and return to the Brennan family. Mrs. Brennan is awake, rocking her youngest child as the engines hum beneath the floor. You tell her to dress the children, put on every coat they own, and follow you without asking questions. She sees something in your face and obeys. At 11:40, the impact is almost gentle, a long vibration beneath your feet, followed by a metallic groan traveling through the hull. Glass trembles. Conversation stops. Then, the engines fall silent. You already know what that silence means. You lead the family upward before the corridors fill with confused passengers. Crewmen insist there is no danger, but seawater is already entering the lower decks. More than an hour passes before the first lifeboats begin descending, some carrying empty seats while families remain below. The deck grows steeper, the air grows colder. Your 2-hour warning has ended, and the ship now has less than 2 hours left. You are no longer trying to save Titanic. You are trying to place 4 people where history might overlook them. By 2 a.m, the deck tilts beneath your feet, and the Atlantic is no longer a possibility. It is a certainty. Beside you, Mrs. Brennan holds her children against the freezing wind. A lifeboat is being lowered with only a few spaces left. The officer points to the mother and children, but refuses the men. You lift the youngest child into his arms, then help Mrs. Brennan and her daughter across the rail. Mr. Brennan remains beside you. As the boat descends, the little girl reaches upward and calls your name. Minutes later, the stern rises above the Atlantic. You and Mr. Brennan run toward a collapsible lifeboat, but the deck lurches before it can be launched. The boat is swept into the freezing water upside down. Mr. Brennan disappears in the crowd as the ship breaks beneath you. You jump, fight your way back to the surface, and pull yourself onto the overturned hull with a handful of other survivors. Hours later, Carpathia appears through the darkness. Mrs. Brennan and her children are alive. So are you, but Mr. Brennan is never seen again. Your modern knowledge could not stop the iceberg or save the ship. It only gave you enough time to change 4 destinies, and even then, history demanded a price.